Let me tell you something, my friend. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you absolutely must have. And here's the truth. If you're not hungry, you're comfortable. And if you're too comfortable, you're not going anywhere. You have to stay hungry, not greedy, not desperate, but hungry. Because hunger is the fuel. It's the fire in the belly. It's the quiet whisper that says, there's more in you yet. You see, life responds to effort. Life responds to desire. But more than anything, life responds to hunger. Hunger makes you get up early. Hunger makes you stay late. Hunger pushes you through pain and setbacks. Because when you're hungry, truly hungry, excuses don't matter. You don't wait for opportunity. You create it. You knock on doors, and if they don't open, you build a better door. That's what hunger does. Now let me be clear. This isn't about being frantic. It's not about being obsessed. It's about living with intention and purpose. It's about saying, I'm not done growing yet. Success? It doesn't come to the most talented. It doesn't come to the luckiest. It comes to those who are hungrier than their excuses. Hunger gives birth to discipline. Discipline gives birth to results. And results, my friend, give you a life you're proud of. So don't let the fire die down. Don't get comfortable. Don't settle for good when great is possible. Feed your hunger with learning. Feed your hunger with vision. Feed your hunger with action. Because if you stay hungry, you'll go further than you ever imagined. And let me tell you something I've learned in all my years. A man with hunger will outwork, outlast, and outperform a man with talent every single time. So today, stoke the fire. Sharpen your aim. Raise your standards. Stay hungry. Now let me tell you something. If you ever get full, if you ever get satisfied, watch out. Comfort is a dangerous place. It makes you slow, makes you soft, makes you settle. And life doesn't reward the comfortable. It rewards the committed. Let me give you the big idea right here at the beginning. Hunger is the root of every breakthrough. It's the spark that gets you out of bed early, the fire that keeps you working late, the reason you go one more mile when everybody else is done. See, success doesn't come to the most talented. It doesn't even come to the smartest. It comes to those who are the most hungry. Hungry to grow, hungry to learn, hungry to rise above average. I've met men with incredible talent who never move the needle. Why? Because talent without hunger is like a Ferrari without gas. It looks good, but it won't get you anywhere. Now, let's define hunger. Hunger is the inner urge to become more than you are. It's the quiet voice that says, I'm grateful, but I'm not done. I'm proud, but I'm still building. I've achieved, but I'm still climbing. See, you've got to learn to live in that gap. The gap between where you are and where you could be. That's where hunger lives. That's where growth lives. Now, some people confuse hunger with greed. Let's clear that up. Greed is never satisfied. Greed takes and forgets to give. But hunger is noble. Hunger is the seed of contribution. It's what drives you to become more so you can give more. If you want to be wealthy, learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That's hunger. It's not about chasing more for the sake of more. It's about becoming worthy of more. It's about turning potential into power. Now here's the catch. Hunger fades. Just like a fire, if you don't feed it, it dies. So how do you stay hungry? Let me give you 3 ways. 1, keep company with the hungry. If you spend time with people who have no dreams, you'll forget your own. If you walk with the satisfied, you'll lose your edge. But walk with the dreamers, walk with the doers, and your fire will stay lit. 2, set goals that stretch you. Comfort goals won't challenge you. They won't inspire you. But the goals that scare you, the ones that require a new version of you, those are the ones that feed your hunger. 3, review your vision daily. Keep your dreams in front of you. Write them down. Speak them out loud. Don't let the world distract you from what you're building. Because here's the truth. You're either feeding your hunger or you're feeding your excuses. But you can't do both. And excuses, oh, they're clever. They sound reasonable. They'll say, You've done enough. You're not ready. Maybe later. But hunger says, I'm not where I want to be yet. I've got more inside me. I'm not finished. Let me share something I've always believed. Discipline comes easier when you're hungry. When you're truly hungry, you don't need motivation. You've got momentum. You don't wait for perfect timing. You create your opportunity. So let me ask you, what are you hungry for? Not what you're interested in. Not what would be nice. But what burns in your belly? What keeps you awake at night? What stirs your spirit when you think about it? Because once you find that, once you tap into real hunger, your life will begin to change. Not overnight, but certainly over time. Hunger will drive you to read more, to listen more, to grow more. Hunger will help you resist distraction. Say no to the good, so you can say yes to the great. And most importantly, hunger will keep you moving when others quit. Because the hungry don't stop when they're tired. They stop when they're done. Stay humble, but stay hungry. Be thankful, but never complacent. And above all, never lose the fire. Because the moment you lose your hunger, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start dying. You know, folks, one of the most dangerous places to live in is not in poverty. It's not even in failure. It's in comfort. Because when you're comfortable, you stop reaching. You stop stretching. You stop chasing. And before long, you stop dreaming. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. But comfort whispers the opposite. It says, relax. You've done enough. Take it easy. No need to push any further. Why risk failing when you're already doing okay? And let me tell you, okay is a dangerous word. Comfort is the silent killer of hunger. When you're hungry, you're alive. Your senses are sharper. Your energy is stronger. Your focus clear. But comfort dulls the edge. It lulls you to sleep while the world passes you by. It tricks you into thinking you've made it, when in truth you've just paused. Now hear me. There's nothing wrong with being grateful. You should be. You should count your blessings every single day. But don't confuse gratitude with settling. You can be thankful and still strive for more. That's the balance. That's the sweet spot. Let's talk about excuses for a moment. You see, excuses are what people use to protect their comfort zone. They sound like this. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'm not ready. I'll start next week. I tried once. It didn't work. But you know what excuses really are? They're well-dressed lies. They sound smart. They sound logical. But they're still lies. And here's what I learned. If you really want something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Excuses are the enemy of progress. And hunger doesn't make excuses, it finds solutions. You've got to be careful, because one day you stop chasing what you want and start settling for what's easy. You begin to lower your standards. You stop aiming high. And then what? Life becomes routine. You're existing, but you're not really living. You're breathing, but you're not becoming. And let me warn you, the minute you settle for less than you deserve, you get even less than what you settled for. Settling doesn't mean you failed. It means you've stopped trying. It means you've given up the fight. And hunger cannot survive in that kind of environment. Not greedy, not desperate, but hungry. Hungry for growth. Hungry to learn. Hungry to become better than you were yesterday. You've got to keep that fire burning, even when things are good, especially when things are good, because that's when most people let go. They take their foot off the gas. They say, this is good enough. But good enough is never good enough for the one who's called to greatness. The antidote to comfort? Purpose. If comfort is the enemy of hunger, then purpose is the weapon. Purpose keeps you awake. Purpose keeps you alive. Purpose reminds you there's more to do. You're not done yet. So ask yourself today, have I gotten too comfortable? Have I started making too many excuses? Have I settled in areas where I once dreamed boldly? And if the answer is yes, then it's time to wake the hunger again. Remember, Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. But hunger is what gets you to build that bridge in the first place. So stay hungry, my friend, because comfort may feel good for a moment, but hunger will take you places comfort never could. And that's the truth. You see, once you get hungry for something more in life, you've taken the first step. But the real question becomes, how do you stay hungry? Because hunger, my friend, is not a one-time event. It's a daily discipline. You don't eat once and stay full forever. You don't read one book and become wise forever. You don't work hard once and stay successful forever. No. You've got to fuel the fire every day. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you truly reminded yourself of why you started? Why you got up early? Why you stayed up late? Why you pushed through the pain, the rejection, the fatigue? Because if you don't revisit that reason, if you don't keep your vision alive, you will get soft. You will forget. And when you forget your hunger, you lose your edge. Let me tell you what I learned early in my journey. Success is not about intensity. It's about consistency. That's how you stay hungry. You've got to build a rhythm into your life that keeps your hunger awake and alive. So here's the question we must ask ourselves. What are the daily habits that stoke the fire? What are the routines, the disciplines, the practices that keep you chasing your next best self? Let me give you a few. 1. Feed your mind every morning. You've got to start your day with something that ignites you. Don't begin your day with the news. Begin with nourishment. Read a page, listen to a tape, watch a clip, write a thought, but fill your mind with something that lifts you. Remember this, the first hour of the day sets the tone for the rest of the day. So ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind? Because whatever you feed it grows. If you feed it fear, fear grows. If you feed it doubt, doubt grows. But if you feed it hope, discipline, vision, then your hunger grows. 2, surround yourself with hungry people. Who you spend time with matters. You can't run with the lions during the day if you sleep with the sheep at night. Get around people who stretch you, who challenge your thinking, who make you uncomfortable with your comfort zone. Why? Because hunger is contagious, just like apathy is. If you're around people who are satisfied with mediocrity, you'll start to believe mediocrity is okay. But if you're around someone who wakes up on fire every day, eventually their fire will ignite yours. You'll find yourself thinking bigger, moving faster, expecting more from yourself. 3, set small challenges every day. Now here's one I love. You don't need a massive mountain to climb every day. Just a small hill. You don't have to run a marathon. But how about 1 mile? You don't have to write a book today. But how about 1 page? You see, the daily win is powerful. Every time you do something hard, every time you beat procrastination, every time you finish what you start, you reinforce your identity. I'm someone who shows up. That's fuel. That's hunger talking. And that small fire you build today becomes the wildfire that fuels your future. 4, visualize the life you want daily. Don't just write goals once a year. That's not enough. Revisit your vision every day. Close your eyes and see it. The home you want, the health you want, the freedom you want. Let it burn in your imagination. Because the clearer the picture in your mind, the stronger the pull toward it. It's like I always say, goals. There's no telling what you can do when you get inspired by them. There's no telling what you can do when you believe in them. And there's no telling what will happen when you act upon them. So visualize, then act. 5, remember where you started. Want to stay hungry? Don't forget where you came from. Revisit the struggle. Remember the nights you cried, the days you were broke, the moments you thought it was over. Why? Because remembering the pain reminds you of the promise. It reminds you that you don't want to go back, that you're chasing something greater, that the fire must keep burning. Let your past be the reminder. Let your future be the motivator. And let today be the fuel. You don't get what you want. You get what you're hungry for. And the person who stays hungry, not greedy, not desperate, but hungry, they are dangerous, unstoppable, relentless, because hunger creates action. And action changes lives. So what are you going to do today to stay hungry? Will you read? Will you write? Will you run? Will you speak up? Will you show up? Whatever it is, do it with hunger. Because if you keep that fire burning, there is nothing you cannot do. Let me tell you something, and I want you to write this down if you're taking notes. You don't get to rise without letting something go. You don't get to go up without giving up. That's the price. And hunger, real hunger, makes you willing to pay it. See, the question isn't, do you want success? Everybody wants success. The real question is, what are you willing to give up to get there? And that's where most people fold. They want the trophy, but they don't want the training. They want the results, but they're not hungry enough to make the sacrifices. They're not willing to let go of their comfort, their bad habits, their lazy afternoons. But hear me clearly. Success is built on the altar of sacrifice. You build your future not by what you do once in a while, but by what you consistently give up in exchange for who you want to become. Let me ask you, what's the price of your dream? Because hunger, real hunger, will demand it from you. It will say, if you want this, then no more late nights watching junk television. It will say, if you want this, then get up early and study while they sleep. It will say, if you want this, then skip the weekend parties and invest in yourself. Why? Because you cannot climb the mountain of success carrying the baggage of mediocrity. You got to drop some weight. You got to lighten the load. Let me share a powerful truth with you. Discipline is the price tag for your dreams. And discipline is about saying no to good things so you can say yes to great things. Now, I know it's not easy, but if it were easy, everybody would be extraordinary. If it were easy, everybody would have six-pack abs, $1 million in the bank, and a bookshelf full of wisdom. But most people settle because they're not hungry enough to sacrifice what's holding them back. Let me give you an example. I knew a young man once, full of potential, sharp, talented, but lazy. And one day, I said to him, "You're one of the brightest people I know, but you waste your hunger on distractions." He wanted success, but he wasn't hungry enough to give up sleeping in. He wasn't hungry enough to sacrifice time scrolling on his phone to read, to grow, to plan. And guess what? He stayed the same. Not because he couldn't go higher, but because he wouldn't let go. Now contrast that with another man, not as talented, not as sharp, but hungry. And because he was hungry, he sacrificed. He gave up entertainment for education. He gave up comfort for growth. And that hunger made him climb. Let me say this to you again. You must give up to go up. You must sacrifice temporary pleasure for long-term purpose. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. And oh, how heavy regret can be. But hunger, when it's strong enough, can protect you from regret. Hunger says, I can't afford to waste time. Hunger says, I'm not going to the party, I'm going to the gym. Hunger says, I won't spend money to impress others. I'll invest in my mind instead. Hunger says, I'm okay being misunderstood for now because I'm building something they can't see yet. That's sacrifice. Now let's get practical. Here are some things you must consider sacrificing if you want to reach the next level. Comfort. Growth and comfort do not coexist. Approval. Not everyone will understand your hunger. That's okay. Time wasters. Trade television for books. Trade social media for skill building. Excuses. Replace I can't with how can I? Old habits. You don't get new results with old routines. If your dream is big, if your vision is strong, then your hunger must be bigger than your habits. It must be greater than your need to be liked. It must overpower your need for ease. So the next time you're tempted to waste a day, ask yourself, am I willing to pay the price my future demands? Because if you are, you'll make the sacrifice. And when you do, you'll find yourself climbing higher than you ever thought possible. Because you stayed hungry. And hunger always finds a way. Here's a question for you. How do you keep a fire burning? Not just for a day, or a month, or even a year, but year after year decade after decade? Because here's the truth. It's easy to be hungry when you're just starting out, when everything is new and exciting, when the promise of change lights a fire inside your soul. But what about the long haul? What about when the shine wears off? When the struggle is real? When the grind feels endless? When the crowd stops cheering and the loneliness creeps in? How do you stay hungry then? That's the mark of the truly successful. Not the one who burns bright for a moment, but the one who sustains the flame through every storm. The first secret to staying hungry is to keep your why alive. Why did you start this journey? What was the dream that ignited your soul? Why do you want to become better, stronger, wiser? Your why is your compass. When you feel lost or tired, when the world tells you to stop, your why pulls you forward. Write it down. Say it out loud every morning. Let it become a part of your daily rhythm. When the why gets strong enough, the how gets easier. If your why is crystal clear, no obstacle can hold you back. You can't rely on motivation alone. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. But systems build momentum. They keep you moving when motivation fades. Create habits that nurture your hunger. Read daily. Exercise regularly. Reflect on your progress. Surround yourself with people who challenge and inspire you. Remember, success is predictable. It's not luck or magic. It's the result of small, consistent actions over time. Make your daily rituals non-negotiable. Make your hunger a habit. Hunger without knowledge is like a car without fuel. To stay hungry, you must keep learning. Feed your mind books, podcasts, mentors, and experiences. Seek wisdom everywhere you go. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Commit to lifelong learning. Curiosity is the spark that keeps hunger alive. When you grow your mind, your hunger grows with it. It's important to acknowledge your progress. Celebrate those small victories. They remind you that your hunger is producing results. But be careful. Celebration should not turn into complacency, resting on your laurels. Every win is just a stepping stone. Every achievement is fuel for the next challenge. Keep your eyes on the horizon. Keep moving forward. Hunger thrives on adversity. When life pushes you down, hunger pulls you up. Challenges are not roadblocks. They're opportunities. Don't fear failure. Don't avoid discomfort. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Every struggle makes you stronger. Every setback sharpens your hunger. Stay hungry by embracing the hard stuff. You become like the people you spend the most time with. If your circle lacks hunger, your fire will dim. Find those who share your drive, those who push you higher, those who won't let you settle. Together, you'll keep each other accountable. Together, your hunger will never fade. Hunger dies when the dream gets small. Don't stop dreaming. Don't limit your vision. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. Keep designing. Keep expanding your goals. Keep reaching beyond what you think is possible. A big dream keeps the hunger alive. Staying hungry year after year isn't about luck. It's about intentional living. It's about feeding your why, building systems, learning constantly, celebrating wisely, embracing challenges, choosing your company carefully, and dreaming without limits. It's about waking up every morning with a fire that refuses to die. Because hunger isn't just a feeling. It's a way of life. And if you keep that hunger burning, there's nothing you can't achieve. Remember, stay hungry, stay humble, stay committed. The world is waiting for what you have to offer. As we come to the close of this journey together, I want you to take a deep breath and really let this sink in. You've heard the words, stay hungry, push past comfort, sacrifice for growth, and build systems that carry you forward. But now, it's time for the real work. Because knowing what to do is one thing. Doing it every day, that's what changes your life. Remember this simple truth. Success is predictable. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's hard work and discipline powered by hunger. You see, hunger is the fuel that powers every great accomplishment. It's the force behind the world's greatest leaders, innovators, and dreamers. It's the difference between those who achieve and those who settle. But here's the catch. Hunger is not a one-time event. It's not a fleeting feeling. It's a constant choice you make every morning when you open your eyes. You have to choose hunger every day, even on the days when you don't feel like it, especially on those days, because those are the days your character is built. Those are the days your dreams are forged in fire. Now, the path won't always be easy. There will be setbacks. There will be moments of doubt. There will be times when the world seems to push back harder than you can bear. But hunger, true hunger, will give you strength. It will keep you moving forward when others quit. It will remind you why you started. It will carry you through the dark until you see the light again. And here's something else. You don't have to do this alone. Surround yourself with others who share your hunger. Let their fire fuel yours. Hold each other accountable. Lift each other up. Because hunger is contagious. And together, you can climb higher than you ever thought possible. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just listen to this speech and feel inspired for a moment. Turn that inspiration into action. Feed your hunger with knowledge, with discipline, with sacrifice, and with purpose. Make it a daily habit, the foundation of everything you do. And when you do, I promise your life will change. Not overnight, but steadily, relentlessly, until you become the person you are meant to be. Remember, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. So practice hunger, practice discipline, practice greatness. You have everything it takes. Now, stay hungry and go show the world just how far hunger can take you. Thank you for joining me. Stay motivated, stay committed, and above all, stay hungry.